Bonjour, or should I say hello, we're back on English soil.
Bonjour.
So basically, I feel weird doing a video when I'm not on the bike, but we're doing a little Q&A. So on my Instagram, I put out a little, have you got any PVP questions? You probably know what PVP is by now, but it's basically a 1,200 kilometre or 750 Maloney ride from Paris to Brest and back to Paris. It actually starts from Rambouillet. I don't know if you say it like that. People say that's not how you say it.
I said Rambouillet, but I've heard people say like Rambouillet and...
I don't know how you say it. It's beginning with an R. So question numero un is, what is the process of doing PVP, like how to get into it for next time? So it only happens every 4 years. So the next one is in 2027. And ladies, come on, you can do this because we're going to be there, aren't we, Kyle?
We will.
The pain
Fantastic.
in my bum is still, healing, but the memories are better than the pain, so we
It's
can do
like
it.
nothing you'll ever experience.
It's amazing. So do you want to explain the process?
I'll start with, it's quite a simple qualifying process. It didn't seem it at the time. So Paris-Brest-Paris is in 2027, and in order to qualify, you need to have done a SR series or a Super Randonneur series in that year. So a 200k, 300k, 400k, and a 600k BRM to qualify, or within a certain time frame.
Yeah, so basically you have to do those rides, but you have to do them in a certain time frame. But don't worry, it'll all be on the Audax website the year before. But the key thing is, so that's all in 2027, you need to do that, the year of the ride. But in 2026, in order to get like a pre-registration place, do the longest ride you can, Audax. So either do a 200, 300, 400 or 600.
The longer distance you've done,
yeah,
gives you a better chance.
Yeah, so basically if you've done an 1,000k Audax in 2026, that's the dog moaning, he's bored of us, you'll get like, the entries will open first for you. So this year, because I'd done a 400k last year, I was able to get my place before Kyle, because Kyle hadn't done any, had you? Yeah. So, but you still get a place because there's loads more places than,
which is actually why we ended up in the 84-hour group.
That's why we ended up in the 84-hour group, which I'm actually glad about. So yeah, so you just need to do the process. Don't really need to think about it now until 2026. So you've got 2 years just to get it to the back of your mind, but have it in the forefront because...
But still get them more Audaxes in.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I think I'm a bit tired. But yeah, get the Audaxes in, get the miles in your loins, and you'll be fine. Yeah. So it's an easy process, and it costs about 150, but that's I think the next question, so we'll move on. Question D is, how much did it cost? So the actual entry, I think it's like, is it 150?
Yeah,
so £150 for the entry, but that includes obviously your high-vis PVP jacket, which you get to keep, your brevet card, you get a little PVP rucksack, and then obviously all the volunteers are there getting you through the event. It's amazing. It's worth the money. Yeah, for what it is, it's definitely worth 150 quid. But then, so because we rode there and we rode back, so we stayed at a hotel in Evreux, the Greek hotel. I will give it a mention because it was fab. That was £44 a night. So that wasn't too bad. On the actual ride, we had a budget to spend. I had my euros in my little wallet, had a budget. I was like, we don't spend more than this. But I did have the card with me just in case we ate too many snacks. But I think we spent about 200 euros. 250 maximum
less than what
on the actual ride.
Spend
on food. So it wasn't too bad. I mean, considering that's like 125 euros each.
But that's
for 3 days.
3 days worth of food.
3 days worth of food, and that included a pizza stop, a McDonald's, and all the controls. At the controls, they have like baguettes, croissants, drinks. They did have hot food at some of them, but I didn't really look at that. Did you?
A lot of baguettes and a lot of croissants.
Yeah, basically a lot of jambon baguettes.
They do hot food.
But I'm not going to complain because it was great. Like the amount of riders they had to cater for, there were 6,000 riders.
And all the volunteers giving up the time.
Yeah, they're giving up the time, and it was great. So yeah, you'll be absolutely fine for food. And yeah, it is. I suppose the ferry, that was about £300, I think.
Yeah, but there's different ways of doing it. There's different ways of doing it.
So in total, I reckon we spent for 2 people, 300 for the entry, 300 for the first, that's 600. Doing quick maths here. Hotel about 100, that's 700. Probably all in all, £1,000, I'd say. But then obviously you have to add on to that all your bike stuff you have to buy. So it can get expensive, but if you can afford it, do it. Because yeah, it's so worth it. I wish everyone could.
And overall, it's not really that expensive if you think about how much it costs to go away on holiday.
Question numero 3 is, why did you choose, I've got them written down because I'm a bit forgetful. Sorry. Why did you choose to ride a gravel bike? Well, I do have a road bike and a gravel bike. My road bike, Canny, my little Canyon, love it to bits, but my gravel bike, they're both comfy bikes, but my gravel bike, it has a bit of suspension on the back, and I just find the position of it, like for a long ride, comfy. And I also just felt, I know that you can put bags on my Canyon, but I don't know why, but I just felt safer putting bike bags on my gravel bikes. I felt like it could take it a bit more. And yeah,
It's sturdy, yeah.
it's sturdy, and yeah, it went well. So that's it.
I think they're just you saw a lot of gravel bikes. And I do
there's
think
loads
they're
of different
very
bikes.
well equipped, the endurance stuff.
Yeah, I love my
And
gravel
for
bike.
comfort on the roads and stuff, and you don't know what they're going to be like, but yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, the roads in front,
Well, they are
smooth.
super smooth.
Smooth as marble worktop. Someone did ask as well, what sleeping bag did I use and how did I get it on my bike? What I did was, I bought a re-strap bag. This goes in between the handlebars, and inside here is my sleeping kit. And I've actually not opened this since we got back. We've been back for a week and
Don't open it now because it might
going to smell? I'm a bit worried. But in here I've got my sleeping bag, which it's an Outkit sleeping bag. Oh, it does smell a bit. And which one is it? But they did gift me this, so they gave it me for free. It's the Pipe Dream, and it was a dream, let me tell you. It was actually, it goes down to -6 degrees, which I didn't need in France, but it was so comfy. I think it weighs about 600 grams, so it's not too bad I don't think it's that bad. When you're doing that much of a distance, it doesn't really matter too much about weight, because it's not massively, it's not heavy.
That's life of the mind.
And to be honest, when you're going that far, like a few hundred grams isn't really that much of a big deal to me. So yeah, I definitely 100% recommend. It's kept me so warm. I didn't have a sheet like a mat to sleep on. I slept straight on the cold hard concrete, and it was fine. And I also had, from Outkit as well, Outkit, I don't know how you're going to say it, this bivvy bag. Now this was a lifesaver. This was great because I got no morning dew on me in the morning, although it was like 3 AM. Right, okay, yeah, just need a wash. So yeah, this is just like the bivvy bag. I don't know why I'm trying to unravel it, but yeah.
Don't wash it, it smells like PVP.
Yeah, sleeping bag went inside this bivvy bag. And actually, I absolutely love bivvy bagging. Whatever you call it. Bivvy bagging, it's a new term. So I'm going to be into bivvying in the winter. Yeah. Well, this bad boy goes down to -6, so I'll see you in December on the cold.
You might not see me.
Cold fields of Derbyshire. Question numéro 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, we have actually answered a few questions in one in the last one, so I'm quite impressed with that. Kyle's happy because the football's on and he's a bit annoyed.
On a bit of schedule.
He's on a tight schedule here.
I've been at work all day. I need to.
Yeah, you have been at work.
Wind down.
It's actually a week since we did PvP. I'm still coming down from it, to be honest. I still feel like a bit of a buzz from it, but I know that like it's a bit of a lowness. I need the next adventure.
And it will be coming.
Yeah, it will be coming. We need to think of another challenge.
Shorter adventures.
Anyway, next question. What was the next question? We've started waffling.
Kit.
Oh, what kit did you need and not need? Well, one thing I did not need: arm warmers, leg warmers, thermal gloves, thermal jacket. Basically, Nige told us that in PvP in 2019 it went down to like -2 degrees in the night, and apparently everyone was frozen. So he was like, take all your winter
3
stuff.
degrees, wasn't it?
He said minus.
Oh wow.
So you take all your winter stuff. So we did it. We didn't need it, but to be fair, I'd still take it next time because I'd rather have it and
it doesn't weigh
not
anything.
suffer. Yeah, it's fine. So that, yeah, probably didn't need. There wasn't anything I took that I thought I didn't need, but the thing I would take next time is a speaker for my bike.
Yes, definitely.
Because the music, honestly, when I was in pain, it's amazing what music can do.
Hopefully you don't get in pain.
Yeah, hopefully don't look at my video and think I don't want to do it, honestly.
I had no pain.
Yeah, Carl didn't have any pain. There's loads of other people
And I'd still
that
take
didn't.
speaker.
Yeah, so a speaker. I don't know what else I'd take. I think that's everything. You'd have a spare pair of glasses because you lost yours.
And I did actually say, shall I take a spare pair of glasses? And someone told me not to, because that is just silly.
You don't want to be carrying a spare pair of glasses. You probably lose them.
And I don't want to talk about that because that's still very upsetting.
Very upset about that.
But one thing I did take that was like a winter piece of kit was my puffer jacket. And I was very glad I did take that because in the night it can still be a bit chilly when you've been moving.
You need your puffer jacket.
And especially in the mornings when it's a bit misty.
Yeah.
It's quite nice to have that and just stay that a little bit warmer.
Yeah, I took a raincoat and then the PvP jacket, the high vis, you have to wear that at night. That's actually quite warm. So
yeah,
that's quite
that
good
is
in the
very
night.
warm actually.
One thing I took that I definitely needed, chamois cream. I would have taken more if I could because without that, I don't think I would have finished. I needed it by the blooming bucket load. And Factor 50 sun cream mini one, definitely needed that, although I did kind of burn my neck a bit. Didn't realise. You should have told me I was burning, you didn't see it, did you?
I didn't realise.
Anything else I took? I think, yeah, sleeping bag, bivy bag, needed them.
No, it was pretty well equipped.
I would say definitely if you're going to do PvP, don't feel like you have to sleep at the controls, because there is beds at the control points, but I was absolutely fine. I love sleeping outside and it's quiet and nobody disturbs you.
And a lot of people you do speak to say the noise around the controls and stuff, it can be very difficult to get to sleep.
Yeah, so I definitely recommend bivvying and sleeping. It doesn't weigh much time.
And we did see a lot of people sleeping at the side of the roads.
Exactly. I love that person just starfishing. I was like, when I went past, I was like,
we
that
must
is
have
goals.
seen hundreds of people sleeping at the side of the roads.
It's funny. When you're riding, you just look around, there's people sleeping everywhere. It's crazy. It's great. Oh, I just want to add to the kit you need to take. Obviously, Garmin or whatever bike computer you have. I get gifted Garmin stuff. I have to say that. I'm very grateful. Sometimes I don't know how this stuff happens, but it does. This is my Garmin. It's like a solar one, so it like runs off the sun. You get extra battery power from the sun. You do have to charge it, but you get so much extra battery power. And they sent me this, which is like a charge pack. It goes onto your mount and your Garmin fits on it. And I am not, no word of a lie, at the end of the ride, after 72 hours of being on, it still had 90% charge. So it lasted from getting off the ferry for the whole of the France trip. So riding there, doing the ride and riding back. So 100% recommend this, as well as taking charge ports with you as well to charge things like your phone. Because at the controls there are chargers, like there's charge ports, but it's quite busy and hectic, and it's best just to keep going, and you don't really want to be sat next to a charge port, so you can charge on the go. And this actually does as well have the option to charge other stuff. If your Garmin's charged, you can charge other stuff from it. So 100% recommend this little bad boy. I'll put like a link in the description to what exactly it is, but yeah, it's definitely worth, I mean, I didn't pay for it, but it's definitely worth the money. We're going to get one for you, aren't we?
Yeah, I need one because mine's nowhere near as good as
Yeah, you need to get one. Right, next question, sank. What was the weirdest thing you saw? I'll let you go first because I've got to think of that, I don't know.
Mine's quite easy. So I was very well on the ride, to be fair, and there was no point in which I thought that I was unsafe or anything like that, so it wasn't down to any of that. I think it was just the lack of sleep to a degree. But when you're riding at night and the roads are just so straight and there's no lights, so there's nothing to look at or focus on, your eyes just go into a bit of a daze. And I think the trees started forming into bears, and I genuinely thought there were bears coming out of the woods. So as I was riding along, I was like just in this whole world of my own, and it wasn't until an American chap came next to me and said, "Are you okay?" that I actually realised that my eyes were just going a little bit. And after that I was okay, and Amy was with me and stuff, but I wasn't dangerous, I was perfectly safe. But
we kept talking to each other in the like dark bits.
And we should also put music on.
Yeah, I definitely say that if you get tired, just stop and sleep. It's not worth the risk. But we were okay with it.
I wasn't. That's the weird thing. I think it was just the darkness and stuff like that. But that was the weirdest thing I saw.
The weirdest thing I saw was this guy called Steve. We'd met him before at where we were staying at the campsite, and he cycled the whole thing with the delivery bag on his back. And he slept in the delivery bag, and that is not a joke. That is actually 100% true.
And can I also point out though, hats off to Steve.
Yeah. Because
he's a machine.
Yeah.
An absolute inspiration.
I don't know how he did it. I saw so many weird things, like him, just people lying on the floor in the middle of the day. It's hard to like remember everything. Just there was like people with different outfits on their bikes. You see so many things, but yeah. And I did keep, at the end, when Kyle was hallucinating blooming bears, I kept thinking there were marshals on the corners, but there was no one there, so...
Oh, that was another thing. I kept looking behind me, thinking I was seeing lights.
Yeah.
Thought there was people behind you, but there was just you.
Yeah. Well, it was probably my light. Question, numero 6. Kyle's getting hungry now, his pie's in the oven. He's getting ready for it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right, how do you train up to this sort of mileage? To be honest, I don't really have a training plan, I don't have a coach, nothing like that. What we've basically done is just do the Audaxes, like the 2, 3, 4, 600 this year. That's been good training. And am I boring you there? And just start riding, go out riding, and just build up your mileage slowly. And then before you know it, you'll be at 200k, and then it's not that much of a big leap to 300k. And just ride as much as you can regularly, and then your cod loins, aka your legs, just get used to it. And yeah, we didn't follow a plan. We just do as many miles as you can. A few weeks before, we kind of put our miles down a bit. And that was it really. I'd say just go out and do the mileage. The furthest I'd ever ridden before the 1,200 was just over 600k on my 24-hour time trial. So yeah, to go from that and then just kind of double the distance, but I know I was in pain by the end, but the rest of my body felt fine. Like, yes, I did come out with a bit of a heel injury, which is healing, and a few cuts, but other than that, I've honestly felt fine. And I think if you're determined in your head to do it, you'll do it. So put the miles in the year before, and yeah. What do you say? Any training tips? I mean, I'm not a coach, so.
But the fact being is, I started cycling last year.
Yeah.
And I'd only done 200 miles prior to doing any form of Audax.
Yeah.
And I did my first Audax in February. So, yeah, anyone can do it. You can just jump in on Audax and you soon bump the mileage up. Just keep riding, keep doing miles.
Just go for it.
It doesn't have to be fast. Just do your own pace and you'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, because in the ride, I think, what's the slowest you're allowed to go? Is it like 10 mile?
I'm not sure what the exact.
But obviously you have like 90 hours in the 90-hour group, so you have got plenty of time. Like, you can, I think Steve was saying, like, he worked it out, you can have an hour break for lunch every day and sleep for however many hours and cycle along at like 12 miles an hour and you do it fine. So yeah, don't be put off by like the grand scale of it. Like, you can do it, just be determined, you can do it. Question numero sept, I think that's right, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Right, the next question is, how did you get through mentally, like when you were in a lot of pain? So Kyle, on this side of me, didn't have any pain, did you? He was blooming happy as Larry all the whole way around, so I was actually a little bit jealous. But yeah, it did. I mean, the first day of the ride I had period pain, and then second and third I had like pain in my heel, and yeah, I got cuts in places you don't want cuts, so not good. But I don't know, I just, in my head I'm like, I'm not giving up. And although I said to Kyle at the end, like 10 miles from me, I was like, I can't do it, I need to get a taxi. In my head, like, that was never gonna happen. It was nice to know that was an option. But in my head I just say to myself, like, Amy, you've got through much worse than this before, you can do it. And I just picture the end feeling, and I think how I would feel if I didn't finish. And I know that if I didn't finish, I'd be like, until 2027 when it's on again, I'd be like annoyed at myself. So yeah, I just kind of, I don't know, I've just got this thing within me where I just say to myself, come on Amy, you can do it, don't stop. And I think because I've been through like a mental health struggle in the past, and that's how I started cycling, I know that like nothing that I can go through on the bike is worse than what I've been through in my head before. So that's kind of like how I deal with it. But I know there's people that didn't finish, and I don't think they're any less of a cyclist than me at all. It is so hard, even just getting there is an achievement. So anybody that did it that didn't finish, just be proud of yourself. Just doing the qualifiers is an achievement, isn't it, I think, and just getting there. So yeah, but I'd say when cycling gets hard, you just have to positive self-talk, and yeah, singing really helped as well, making up silly songs, that really
something I would
helped.
say to you is you can dig a lot deeper than what you think.
Yeah, and Kyle always says to me, you're stronger than you think, and I always say that into my head. So,
although I'm not always that motivational.
Yeah, sometimes Kyle when there was 14 miles to go, Kyle asked me how far is there to go, and there was 14 miles, and you should have seen him.
That was my blip on the road.
That was his blip.
I had the one blip, and that was my blip.
Yeah, he wasn't happy.
But
he wasn't a happy cyclist.
PvP was one of my easier rides. I've had much harder Audaxes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Strangely enough.
Your 600k qualifier was harder, wasn't it? Then I'd say, because you rung me crying at one point on that.
Yeah, but I just didn't sleep in my 600.
Yeah. You did actually cry to me on the phone.
I did.
But
I'm not afraid to admit that.
It's okay.
Needed to hear a friendly voice. I was very lonely.
Yeah, and then you got back on it, didn't you? And did it. So.
And I didn't sleep, so
yeah, that was not good. Yeah. Definitely sleep before the 600. Some people go to 600k on PvP without sleeping. I do not know how they do that. I need my slumber.
I mean, you do get carried along.
I need my catnip. Question numero. What's a wheat?
Wheat.
What is the next thing you're gonna do? What's the next challenge? To be honest, I don't actually know. I'm hungry for a challenge, but there's so much I want to do next year. I mean, All Points North, I didn't do that this year, so that's definitely on the list. Definitely going to do another 600 before the end of the year, I think.
100%.
If we can fit it in.
That's what I'm about.
But yeah, next year, All Points North. I have got Trans-Pyrenees on my mind, but I'm a bit scared about that because I feel like it's such a big thing to do. And it's next September, so I've got a whole year, but I'm a bit like, I don't know if I can do that or not. I don't know.
Keep telling you can do that.
So that's a potential, but I don't know. We'll watch this space. We'll think of something. What's your next big thing? Do you think 600k?
My next big thing is just keep riding the distances and just keep smiling. It's the 24-hour time trial next year.
Oh yeah, you want to do that next year?
So I will be training for that next year. So
yeah. Question, Nerf. Are you going to get a bike fit? Right. Well, I've not had a bike fit, and maybe that might have caused some issues. But yes, I am going to get a bike fit and I've got one booked in. Question numero 10, or as we say in English, 10. Right, it's the last question. We don't have time to answer everyone's. I wish we could, but Kyle's pie for dinner is in the oven and he's getting a bit naughty, aren't you?
I'm hungry.
He's hungry now. So the last question is, what is your best and worst moment of the ride? Kyle, you can go first.
I've got two best moments. So
Okay.
one when we was going down that road singing. Thought that was quite a nice moment. Even though it was tough, that was a nice moment. And seeing a shooting star while I was seeing a shooting star
Oh, yeah.
while I was going to go to sleep. So that was quite nice.
Yeah. And your worst
And
moment?
the crep one was quite good. There's so many good moments. Worst moment is probably the hallucinating, seeing the bears. Although it was also one of my funny moments.
Wasn't the worst moment when I told you there was 14 miles left?
Very briefly.
Yeah.
Very briefly.
Right, my best moment, if I had to pick one, I mean, there were so many good ones, like the kids that came out, all that. There's so many memories. I could write a whole blooming book on it. But yeah, my best moment was I was in just so much pain, and we were going towards the end, and I was just like, I just wanted to get to the end. And I looked up and I saw a shooting star going towards the finish, and I've never seen a shooting star before. And I looked up and I was going that way, and I was like, right, there's my little glimmer. I'm following that star and I'm getting to the end, and it just really brightened my mood in that one little moment. My worst moment was when I was just in so much pain and it was dark and it was like 20 miles to go and I was crying, and we put Kyle's puffer jacket down my bib shorts because I was in that much pain. We were like, maybe we can like make some padding and make it feel better. And then I sat on the saddle and my feet wouldn't touch the pedals, and then Kyle was getting annoyed because he was like tired, and I had to put it back out again. And I mean, it's funny to think about now, but in that moment,
At the
it's
time
like,
when you want to get done and you keep having to stop and go again.
Yeah, that was not a good moment. But overall, honestly, the best experience of my life. Like, it was just, it's like a cycling festival. People from all over the world.
It is a cycling festival.
Every bike you can imagine. Everyone's coming out of the villages cheering you on. Like, even no matter how much pain you go through, no matter how hard it is. I mean, some people didn't have any pain, just went through it like happy as Larry. There's always like something to motivate you, and everyone's so friendly. Like, that's the experience we had anyway. And it's not a race. People do go and race it, fair play to them, that's up to them, but you can just take your time if you need to. Some people are struggling to reach the time limit, some people are taking their time, but it's just, everyone out there is just a cyclist and having a good time and having a bad time, but the highs always come back again, don't they? And
everyone supports each other. Everyone
supports, yeah. And there's so many lovely volunteers, and yeah, so there's 2027, sorry I interrupted you.
No, there's always something to make you smile.
Yeah, there is. And 2027, we'll be back again 100%. So hopefully see some of you lot there. Ladies, come on. There's only like, I think
6% in our group.
Women or something, so not enough. So come on, let's show those fellas how it's done. And yeah, that's our Q&A done. Carl's ready for his pie. I'm ready for mine. Tonight, Carl's having a pie tonight and I'm having a fish stew out of the freezer. We're having a freezer meal, it's quick. But yeah, don't know what I want to say really, but other than thanks for everyone that's watched our videos, and thanks to everyone that put PBP on. And if you have any questions about Audax, just always feel free to give me a message on Instagram. I might not always reply straight away because I'm a little bit busy at the minute, but I'll try and reply the best I can, or do like another video. So yeah. Do you want to say anything? End note, are you okay, Bob?
Yeah, goodbye. I'm going to get my pie.
Right, thanks so much for watching. TT to the FN. Goodbye.
Goodbye.